Well, the point is, government has no business saying, we're going to calm you down and put an antipsychotic in the water. And from my research, just reading the basic encyclopedia on lithium, it's similar to fluoride in that it builds up in the body, large amounts of it. And so that over time, in fact, I was reading when they start dosing people with lithium, a lot of times it even takes a few weeks to build up until it's at the full dosing point.
Well, and at that point, it becomes a highly toxic metal, and there's been quite a few fatalities associated with lithium accumulation. Now, that was also the problem we had with fluoride. They were, in the very beginning, and even now, they said, well, gee, it's only 1 part per million. Well, actually, the fluoride in water is the greatest source of fluoride toxicity in the environment because you drink a lot of water. In the summertime, particularly if you're outdoors or an athlete, or you have certain medical conditions like diabetes, you drink a very large amount of water, and so you're consuming much larger content of fluoride. Well, the same would be true for lithium. Your intake is going to be much higher if you put it in water than if you just have it in natural sources, primarily food. Also, what's forgotten about this, and the same thing happens with fluoride, when you put a metal in the water purposely, and then you water your plants with it, your vegetables, your gardens, that you're going to eat these fruits and vegetables that are watered with the lithium-enhanced water, the plant accumulates the lithium, so then you're getting bioaccumulation. The longer you do it, the higher the content.
And for those that don't know, that's just like the food chain where you don't eat swordfish because it's got hundreds of times the mercury that a smaller fish has because it's on the top of the food chain. And in the last 5 years, they've approved, and it's being widely used, sodium fluoride as a pesticide on crops, and they admit it bioaccumulates through the cell walls of the plants, and so there's massive levels, and thousands of foods don't have 1 part per million, that's mixed in with the water that's used in their production. They're actually adding upwards of 900 parts per million in TV dinners, in powdered eggs. That's all authorized by the Food and Drug Administration. And then you have the toothpaste that the children are using, very high levels of fluoride. Then you look at how the term sodium fluoride is a catch-all for hundreds of chemicals that they put in the water. I mean, it's just incredible.
Well, and you have fluoridated medications. We're now exposed to so much fluoride. We've exceeded recognized safety limits that are recognized by everybody, EPA, FDA, the ADA even recognizes that at those levels, there's no question of toxicity. Well, certain parts of the brain accumulate doses or concentrations of fluoride that are several hundred parts per million, which everybody agrees is toxic. Now, they even use fluoridation as an example. Oh, look how successful fluoridation was. Well, we have poisoned millions of people with fluoride. It induces arthritis, bone fractures, infertility, neurological disorders. I mean, the list goes on and on. Cancer, it stimulates cancer growth. All of this is ignored by the public.
And the mainline government university studies admit macular degeneration. So if it's eating and destroying the cells in the eye, which is connected to the brain, as you know, doctor, what is it doing to the brain?
Well, we have evidence of brain damage by fluoride fluoride accumulation. That was done by Dr. Molnick. She presented it to the CDC, her program, her research, which was printed in one of the most prestigious neurotoxicology journals. And for her trouble, they fired her. And they made sure she never got another federal grant because she showed the brain accumulation, particularly in parts of the brain that have to do with learning and memory, was significant and toxic. So, here we go again. We get all the assurances in the world, and then when the research starts showing tremendous toxicity and significant problems, it's all covered up. They can make sure the media doesn't cover it. They can make sure that the public is never aware of it. They spend just enormous amounts of money on advertising. For instance, in this article about the virtues of lithium, they quote the EPA that fluoridation of the water is one of the 10 greatest advances in medicine in history. Well, the studies, every study study that has been done in modern times has shown fluoridating water does not reduce cavities at all. In fact, a number of studies shown that it increases dental caries.
And, Doctor, as you know, in the last 10 years, 3 separate times, the head of the EPA and FDA, they all joined together. Their top scientists, over 90% of the Food and Drug Administration toxicologists, signed an open letter in 2000, in 2004 again. I've had them on the show, top chemist, toxicologist, and they explain that it's not just fluoride, it's other chemicals being added, and that they know it's hurting people, but the government still won't remove it. But then when you, as a top brain surgeon, to come on and explain this to people, the system just responds by laughing at us. But the controllers know what they're doing. I mean, look at 110 years ago, the founder of the Rockefeller dynasty was funding Pinkerton Security to literally Gatling gun protesters all over the country, to go in Colorado and massacre whole groups of families that had struck claims on gold mines that was their property. And these guys openly talked about a scientific dictatorship. They went and funded scientists to come up with systems to take over education, to dumb people down, and to drug them, to make them servile. And 110 years later, we say, why can't the American people get angry and get upset? Because there's mercury in the vaccines. There's bisphenol A in all the packaging. They're now admitting, yeah, we want to put lithium in. The fluoride isn't working enough. Stay there, doctor. I want to talk about how fluoride and lithium affects the brain and makes people servile. It's just so incredible that they're out in the open with this now. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Dr. Russell Blaylock will give you his websites as well.
We all know that the Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 4 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water systems. The revolutionary Berkey light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels, and removes harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $209, and the Berkey Guy will include 3 Sport Berkey water bottles and ship everything to you free of charge. That's right, 3 Sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping, an $87 value, yours free, but only for a limited time. Just call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653 now to order. That's 1-877-886-3653, or order online now at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
They helped to create a new world order.
We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The New World Order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Remain in your houses. The President of the United States has declared martial law under Executive Order 11,004.
Will they do it? Will they pull the trigger this time? We all pray they stand down, but an engineered crisis seems more likely with each passing day. Think it can't happen here? Executive Order 10990 locks down all highways. Executive Order 10995 seizes control of all media outlets. Executive Order 10998 controls all farms and food supplies. All these executive orders are now cocked, loaded, and waiting for the right crisis. So if you're worried about the possibility of martial law here in America or have questions about how to survive it, go to martiallawsurvival.com. That's martiallawsurvival.com. Go to martiallawsurvival.com right now.
You must remain in your houses until your bracelets are scanned.
what we're talking about here on air. I have literally over 100 government-funded textbooks like Eco Science by the White House Science Czar. I have a mainstream news article from 2006 where he talked about population reduction and drugging the population. That's all these people talk about. We've got books written over 100 years ago how they were going to do it, and they've done it. As Aldous Huxley said when he wrote Brave New World in 1933, this is what the top scientists that he worked with, his brother later headed up the United Nations UNESCO as the Secretary General of UNESCO, and called for it. So, Dr. Blaylock, let's talk about specifically what fluoride does, because the studies I've seen show that it doesn't just cause IQ reduction and a dumbing down, but that it causes people to become more servile. And there's no denying that lithium does this, and they're admitting